My lord, it's finally official. Oh, after all of this time, it's finally a done deal. Microsoft acquires Bethesda. They are together at last. Finally, all your dreams can come true. We can have Master Chief versus Doom Guy. Think about it. Oh my god. So, we are now at a time in gaming history that I don't think we've never seen anything like this before. We've finally reached a point where you take one of my absolute favorite developers and you take the cuffs off, because they've known for a long period of time that this deal was proposed to go through. They've been wanting to do this for a long time. They have a long-standing relationship with Microsoft all the way back to the Morrowind days. I mean, they were working together. And I can tell you that, you know, the holding company that did have an interest, a large interest in Bethesda's finances, they really actually, you know, that's who they really had to deal with, and alongside, you know, the government having to, you know, authorize this sort of deal to make sure there was no, you know, no monopoly going on, no abuse of power at this point. But finally, so now I believe, you know, a lot of people have been thinking Bethesda just, you know, they're not themselves. They're not the same developers that they used to be. They're not putting out the content that they used to. But, you know, they don't stop to think, I think sometimes, that, you know, you have to do what you have to do to remain afloat. And we're talking about, you know, we're talking about ZeniMax, we're talking about multi-billion-dollar companies. Now, you don't think about, you know, they could potentially go under. You know, you're looking at the Bethesda today, but, you know, Bethesda has had a rocky road at times. I mean, there's been you know, occasions where, you know, they have nearly gone bankrupt. I mean, that's really how the whole ZeniMax thing started in the first place. I mean, they ended up in a position where they needed to be financially managed in some aspect, or they were going to go under, and we would have none of the content that we've all enjoyed up to this point, and will continue to do so moving forward. But, you know, at the end of the day, these developers have families, and, you know, they have you know, interrelationships and there's interpersonal things going on. I mean, they are people after all, and you have to do what you have to do sometimes to keep a company afloat. So, you know, they just came off of, you know, back in the day, they had the whole, you know, Redguard, Fallout, Battlespire. You know, they had kind of you know, they had a few titles that really hurt them. And they end up in a poor financial position. So that's when they, you know, they had to do the whole ZeniMax thing. They ended up, you know, doing Morrowind, and that really put some wind back in their sails. I mean, and that was their initial, you know, they were working with Xbox and Microsoft back then. And you're talking, you know, you're talking about Xbox and Windows PC. I mean, that's what we're talking about today. So honestly, in the broad spectrum, you know, not much has changed, you know, but now it is absolutely official. So, you know, it has been completely officially announced. It is the real deal. You know, I think a lot of what we've been, you know, as gamers and fans of Bethesda, we've been experiencing from them, you know, with like, you know, Elder Scrolls Blades and stuff, is that they needed to prove that they could hit a price point that made it worthwhile for, that controlling interest to be sold off to Microsoft, or at least whatever percentage of that was acquired. I don't know I don't know those numbers behind the scenes or anything, but the reality of it is they knew this was going to happen. They knew the proposal was in place, and they needed to try to get to a certain price point that made that deal acceptable. Because, in the long run, that 7.5 billion is going to get, that's going to be a small change, believe it or not, to what the future may bring. I mean, they have them for years now. And anyway, so they ended up in a situation where they had to prove that they could be worth, they could hit that price point, they could sell at that price point, that 7.5, and the only way they could do that, I believe, is to prove that they can do what other companies are doing. They have to be able to prove that they can make a live service game, a games as service. They have to prove that they can microtransaction and put all that into everything that they build. They have to prove that they can churn out a few games. All of the stuff that you see these other companies do, I'm gonna keep going back to EA, because we all know now they might be wisening up a little bit, but we know EA. We know what they've been capable of. We know what they do. They're up there with Ubisoft, and as of right now, I think this has been the best thing, because Microsoft is going to they're going to, I think, allow them. It's going to give them the breathing room to build those experiences that are just going to level the playing field. I mean, we're talking about, you've got some of the best developers making some of the best IP and the best experiences out there on a platform that provides the most bang for your buck, the best value, I think, out there. And to include it in that is the thought process behind this is extremely profound. I mean, they have changed the whole landscape of gaming. There's now a service out there that they're not even going to have to stay in the console wars at this point. They're transcending the console wars. It will happen. It's still going to take time, but it will happen. So, as of right now, I can honestly say I am so freaking excited that this has finally happened, because at any time they could have shut this thing down. They could have said, nope, not gonna happen. So I don't know whose hands were in whose pockets. I don't care, honestly. I appreciate it nonetheless. So this is what, Phil Spencer, he put this out. If I'm reading here, officially welcoming Bethesda to Team Xbox. He put out this article, and this is only the beginning of the article, because it's too long to go through. But this is an exciting day for Xbox. Today we officially complete the acquisition of ZeniMax Media, parent company of Bethesda Softworks. It's an honor to welcome the 8 incredible, talented development studios: Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, ZeniMax Online Studios, Arcane, Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog, and Roundhouse Studios. BAM! I mean, what else? Read it for yourself. Go out and read this whole article, man. They've got it. They've got all the AAA they need right now, and this is just the Bethesda piece. This is not even all the other fantastic developers that they've brought on board. And man, the future is so bright on the Microsoft side of things. I am so excited to be part of this whole man. If it's an experiment, it is the greatest one. I'm loving it. The I plan on Game Pass or bust, man. I just can't express how incredibly good the value is, how stoked I am for what all these studios are going to provide, and how good it is for gaming in general, because it's going to raise the bar. I went over this in my last video. It's going to raise the bar for everyone. They're all going to have to step up their game now to compete with this, because you're throwing value and they're throwing IP quality at you. You gotta step it up. You have to. But yeah, it goes on here. We're talking about where were they? So now that everything is official, we can begin working together to deliver more great games to everyone. Now, I don't, to everyone, is that everyone in their platform? Some of this stuff is, it's a little PR, but that's exactly what you would expect. That's the man's job. I mean, that's what he does. At every step, building toward this moment, I've been inspired and motivated by the creativity, insight, and community-first approach of the talented people at Bethesda. And I strongly believe that. You don't throw $7.5 billion at a company and not mean every word of that sentence. I mean, it just doesn't happen. You just won't do it. It's, because you got somebody pushed, right? They had to take that to a board of directors. They had to sit like knights of the round at that thing and convince King Arthur that this thing had to happen. Somebody signed that check, and they made this thing work, and that's no small feat. So congratulations to Phil. Thank you. We appreciate it, and everyone else that helped you get this deal done. And on the Bethesda side, Todd, your whole team, oh my god, thank you. Appreciate it so much. And I do like this, our goal is to give these teams the best foundation for doing their greatest work and to learn from them as we continue to build Xbox into an inclusive platform for all players. So I do believe that they're absolutely, any of their online offerings, any of their, like the Elder Scrolls Online games and stuff like that, of course, I think they're going to want to put those out. They're going to allow those games on other platforms because it only makes sense, right? But they're it's going to get exclusive. I've read some more of what what he's saying, and I've watched what a lot of other people are saying right now. And there's definitely some commitment to Game Pass as an exclusive platform for a lot of their big title IPs that are coming out. I don't blame them. Don't blame them at all. So, like, when they all get together, we saw this interview a while back, and everything was so speculative. Everybody was saying it without saying it. Everybody was. They were really, it was like everybody was talking through their lips, nobody really wanted to let anything out of the bag, because, like I said, it still could have been canceled at this point. They still could have stopped it, and it didn't happen, and I am so thankful for that. Listen, guys, I plan on, I think, I'm gonna crack one open and celebrate. so I'm telling you, this is so good. It's so good for the industry, gaming as a whole. I'm flabbergasted. I'm so happy this actually happened, because there was a point where I was thinking, I thought either some of the, there are some lawsuits and stuff going on the Bethesda side, which obviously I think Microsoft knew. They knew, they were already working together regardless. So they knew what was going down on that end, I'm sure. But between that and I was thinking other companies might apply pressure to to government to try to stop this thing. I was really expecting that. I was expecting everyone from from Sony to potentially maybe even Nintendo, maybe even your platforms like Epic and stuff like that. I thought they might come out and say, hey, they can't do that. Whoa, you can't do that. But it didn't. I haven't seen anything like that. So I'm glad. I'm happy. I'm a happy man. So from what I understand, here in the next week or so, we're also going to get an update of a number of Bethesda titles on Game Pass. I don't know which ones they're going to be. I don't think I haven't read yet any solid titles. I don't know. I don't know what or how many, or if it's going to be how many are going to be Game Pass for PC versus the console. But who cares, man? It's just a step in the right direction. I'm just so happy it happened this way. I just want to share that with all of you guys. I just wanted to get a quick one out there and let you guys all know how I felt about it. And you might have a completely different opinion. And I would love to read in the comments what your perspective is on it, because mine now. But time will tell. I'm on the hype train. It's pretty obvious, but you never know what could happen. I mean, even back in the day when everybody was horse armor and all this kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, they had to prove out. They had to prove out a model, and that actually, I think even back then was a time when they had to prove, this is the type of thing we can do. This is how we can make money. Invest in us. Keep us afloat. Keep our friends and family fed. And I hate that I think that Bethesda was forced into doing a lot of this kind of stuff that we all have kind of like not really appreciated, or we didn't feel that that isn't the best showing for Bethesda. But I think there's reason behind it, and at this point, I'm willing to say, you know what, I get it, man. I get it. Move forward. Be the Bethesda that you have been. Do what you guys do best, and that's making these grandiose, fantastic worlds that all of us get lost in. That's really all I've got to say. So, I appreciate you guys once again spending the time with me to watch this video and listen to me rant and go on about how awesome this was, because my mind was blown. I'm so excited about it. But if you guys get a chance, to please consider giving a comment and a like. Hit the bell so that you'll see these videos as they come out. I'm trying to do these at least once a week if I can. So turn on the alerts too, so that when I do new topics and stuff like that, you don't miss out on any of it. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's any topics or articles you've seen, anything that's interesting that you'd like to cover or discuss, and I'd be more than happy to go over it. You guys, once again, thanks for stopping by. Father Retro out.